All right, now to give us more perspective as to what we are to make of these exit poll results, so to speak, we're being joined by Ms. Aditi Fadnis, who is a senior journalist and also a contributing editor at the Business Standard. She is joining us live from New Delhi. Ms. Fadnis, so the exit pollsters have put out some very fascinating figures, and pretty much according to most of the numbers that are being put out, it appears that the BJP is expected to return for a third time with at least 350 seats along with its allies. Till yesterday, no one was talking about a wave election, but if this is not a wave election, then what is?
A wave election would have been the BJP's own assessment that the NDA would get 400 plus seats. That would have been a wave. That's not happening. I have traveled all over India to cover the election and to understand how people are thinking. It's not that this is a wave of the sort we saw in 2014, where because of a low base, the BJP got very, very high numbers, and people were completely fascinated by the Prime Minister whose charisma was evident. This time, there is a degree of dissatisfaction and even disillusionment with the BJP led
Right.
dispensation. But I think the problem seems to be that they do not see a viable alternative in the opposition.
It's interesting that you mentioned that, in the course of your travels, you saw a very palpable, so to speak, disillusionment and disappointment. But this is obviously the question. If people are disappointed with Narendra Modi's performance over the course of the last 10 years, then why are we not seeing anti-incumbency against him?
We have to see, first of all, the exit polls do not give us a clear idea of the granularity of the verdict. So we do not know really whether what part of the 350 odd number that the exit polls are putting out, what part of it belongs to the BJP.
Right.
That's number one. Number two, while the BJP has definitely increased its vote share, it would ignore the issues that were voiced by a large number of people at its peril. We should not forget that the BJP won around out of 280 odd seats, where the margin was between 200,000 and 300,000 votes.
Right.
The BJP won 164 of those seats. So my own assessment is people's disillusionment and discontent will be made vocal by the reduction in margins of BJP victories. All that is not included in the exit polls, and we have to wait for the final result to analyze them.
That's absolutely true, because these are just predictions that are being made on the basis of small sample sizes of anywhere from 20 to perhaps 60,000 people that they would have interviewed, and then that number is extrapolated to come up with these numbers. So the exit poll numbers are
I'm not
exact
rubbishing
ones.
exit polls.
No, I'm just pointing out that we have to...
But they are done scientifically.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
I'm just putting out a disclaimer saying that exit polls are not exact polls. They've been wrong in the past.
Yes.
They've also been correct in the past as well.
Yes.
But we should take them with a pinch of salt. That's the point that I was making.
Yes, pinch of salt, yes.
Right.
Yes.
And Ms. Fadnis,
that is right.
Just on the basis of the exit poll numbers that have come out, it appears that the BJP is making forays into places where it has not had any presence. For instance, in Kerala and also in Tamil Nadu. Now, the exit pollsters are predicting that the BJP could make some major inroads there. What's your reading on the BJP opening its account in places like Tamil Nadu?
Well, people are looking for political alternatives, and they see BJP as a possible political alternative, even in states where it really does not have an organizational presence or has a very weak organizational presence. So exit polls tell us that the BJP is expanding its vote share. This is something that we had expected. But how much of that vote share translates into seats, we will have to wait for the final result.
And also the role of women in terms of how the BJP has tried to target the women voter. Why is it that the Bharatiya Janata Party under Narendra Modi seems to be so popular, especially with the women voters? Is there something that the BJP seems to be doing right?
I think women voters have increased in number in support of the BJP. Part of this is its own work in the states, where it has emphasized a lot on law and order. There have been very number of women-friendly schemes. For instance, women-headed households below the poverty line getting a sum of money, which is every month in their bank accounts. The Ujjwala gas is frankly now old news. But the fact that women have now got the facility of registering a house in their names,
Right.
that is also a very empowering sort of move. So,
Right.
yeah, overall, uh, especially among low-income groups, women are a very core constituency of the BJP.
Let's also talk a bit about the opposition, the India Alliance. They seemed to put out a spirited campaign once the election began. Before that, of course, it was the BJP all over the place. But once the election began, once the low voter turnout of the first phase came out, somehow that had energized the opposition India Alliance bloc. Now, Mallikarjun Kharge came out and said that all these exit poll results are completely done to create an atmosphere before the result day. He says that the India Alliance bloc will win 295 seats, which is comfortably above the majority number of 272. What do you make of this statement by Mallikarjun Kharge?
Well, he's batting for his alliance, and he's the Congress president. So if the Congress led alliance gets higher numbers, a lot of credit will be, he thinks, due to him. But I mean, let us be realistic. I'm not expecting the opposition alliance, although now it is in the game. We had
Right.
thought that the opposition is over, it's finished. That is not the case. Even the exit polls are telling us that.
In one of the interviews, Revanth Reddy a few days back had said the Congress, if it wins even 30 to 40 seats more than what it won in 2019, that would pull down the BJP substantially, and then the Congress could be in the game. Do you think the Congress has done enough to be in the game in 2024?
Uh, I mean, I am not sure what the numbers are because, as I said, alliances have been allocated numbers, not individual parties. But I mean, Congress, I don't think is in a position where it will be able to really, on its own, challenge the BJP.
Right.
And this this extends not just to the situation on the ground in terms of winning votes, but also to the ideological positions that the two parties have taken.
Right.
So uh, I think the more interesting question is actually how many seats the BJP will get,
Right.
and if the BJP gets below 250 or gets between 250 and less than what it had earlier, which was 303, then that will make it vulnerable uh, to pulls and pressures from not just alliance partners but also its own components of the Sangh Parivar,
Right.
which could create a problem for the Prime Minister later.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.